Got a couple more things for room 102, Carl?
My problem with me restless leg syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
If I could put that in.
Right, okay.
What is this problem?
The problem I've got with my legs, how they sort of come alive at night.
And what
Tap
they are
dancing,
doing. Yeah,
like
yeah.
bed knobs and broomsticks.
Yeah.
I sort of go to bed, I'm tired, and then I sort of nod off for about 40 odd minutes,
Yeah.
and then my legs go,
Right.
and I can't sleep. It's really depressing. I think it's actually affecting me sort of health-wise, because I'm not sleeping right through the night. It's like I want to
And
sleep.
what does
with me.
Graham say? What does Suzanne say?
Well, she's annoyed with it, 'cause she's getting loads of bruises.
Mm.
Kicking her.
I did a little bit of research on restless leg syndrome when he mentioned it to me. And two little bits of information you'd be interested in, Steve. It is exacerbated and made worse by a sedentary lifestyle,
Right.
lack of activity, lack of exercise, and it can be alleviated with the opposite of that: exercise, leading a more active lifestyle. Which proves my point.
No,
You're like a slug.
I do loads of walking. I make sure I do a good walk. If anything, it's because I walk too fast, because I tense my legs up when I walk. The doctor didn't say anything to do with that when I told him about ages ago. He said it was because I was eating ice cream.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know who
Because
this
something
doctor
that's
is.
in ice cream, he just
Is
said,
it the same doctor that said your nerves are too long?
yeah. No, it's a different fella. This
Right.
is the proper doctor. But yes, I've cut that out, and it works for a bit, but now it's got to a point where I have to go to bed, and I have my legs outside of the bed. I have to put my feet on the floor.
What do you mean?
What?
I have to lie in the bed, like
With your
normal
feet
position,
on the
but I
floor?
have to stick my legs out and feet on the floor.
That's insane. You can't sleep like that.
Well, I do. I nod off, and then maybe in the night, when I wake up, my legs are back in the bed, so either they get bored, or they uncomfy or whatever,
Yeah.
or they eventually get tired. But it's kind of like, if I have them there, it's like they think they're awake and they're being used. The only other thing I can do is if I lie on my front, and then have my legs in the air,
Well, hold on, whoa! You lie in the front and have your legs in the air.
like that. Say if that's my head,
Oh, like
go like that. Like a scorpion.
like the front cover of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, like that. If I do that, I think if I can get the blood out of my legs, they don't work the same.
Is this advice from the doctor or?
No, I did
Is
that
it this
myself.
doctor? Was he from the 12th century?
No, that doctor didn't tell me to do that. I sort of did it.
You
I
just
thought
worked
that
out
works.
that
I nodded
brilliant
off.
piece of information.
Well, have you put this into the Royal Society of Surgeons?
What?
Well, this discovery that if you lay...
No, it's my cure. I'll use it. It might not work for everyone.
And so crazy leg syndrome is destroying your...
Sleep.
Right.
And it's important to get sleep, innit? If you can't sleep, it drags you down. And my legs, they just come alive at night. It's like they belong to a runner or something, and they want to run. And I'm going, I just want to sleep.
But why don't you run?
Why don't you go for a run?
Because it's late at night.
Yeah, but go for a run in the day. Tire them out.
It's fine in the day.
Tire them out in the
I
day.
tire them out in the day.
No, you
Go
don't.
for loads of walks in the day, loads of walks.
So if you were to go, you go to bed, you got restless leg syndrome. If you were to go for a run, that would cure it. I've looked it up.
No,
It
because
does.
I do have long, proper walks. It
No, but
doesn't
if you
sort
know,
of-
immediately.
If anything, it's like the legs like it, and they want more of it. It's like a puppy. You take it for a walk and it's jumping up and down. I want more walks. Well, you can't have a walk. We had a walk earlier. Go to sleep. They're fine in the day. Whilst I'm sat here, they're not probabling me.
They're not what?
They're not probabling me.
Okay.
Not probabling me!
They're not-
makes up words!
They're not giving me any grief whilst
They're
I'm sat
not
here.
probabling me.
But when night falls, it's all going to be different.
It's like they go, I don't want to go to sleep yet.
Like
It's like a
voodoo
little
legs.
kid. It's a kid who wants to stay up in case it misses something.
Yeah.
And that's why I just have to let them stay up. Stick them out the bed.
I love the fact that you go to bed before your legs. Oh, God.
It's annoying. I mean, it's really...
Well, I don't know if I can put in
Your legs.
restless leg syndrome because, as I say, it can be easily cured. You could get up, you could do a bit of exercise, you could walk around.
Yeah, but I've tried all that, doctor, and it doesn't work. Do you suggest anything else?
Right. There's your problem. He's not a doctor.
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
No, well, I'll put it in. I will put it in if you try that. Next time your legs are outside the bed, say, okay, listen, I'm going to go for a run, put on a sweatshirt,
No, because
Put on some shorts.
it's always late at night. I'm not
Yeah.
going out. It's dangerous.
So you go to bed at 11:30.
Yeah.
Go for a run at 11:30. 11:30. 15 minutes.
So are they going in or not?
No, because you're not. I'm not sure that you're doing everything for it. What's your next thing to try and get in room 102?
It's a tricky one. This.
Go on.
It's people who think that humans are special. Do you know what I
But
mean?
you think that.
No, I don't. I don't think humans are special. I think
what-
some of us are. I think you get the odd one who creates something, and you go, that's amazing. But the way we say the human race is amazing, no, it isn't. A small percentage of it is. There's a load of numbnuts. And it annoys me how people say the human race did this, human race. No, it didn't. Let's name them, because there's only a few people who have done stuff that matters.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, definitely. We just thought, well, we think we're good and we're not.
But who matters? Just before we get on to your point. So you're putting in the rest of the human race.
No, just people who say that they're good. People who have said that statement that isn't the human race an amazing thing.
So anyone who's ever said isn't the human race amazing
yeah,
goes in room 102.
Yeah, I'd say don't be stupid.
So most of the human race is going in.
Well, have you ever said it?
Well, I think all species are amazing.
But when people say the human race, they sort of mean
They think what you mean that you can go
great people,
the
great
art,
minds.
Inventors, the things that were, that we've.
And how is the human race not amazing?
Because we're not needed to keep this planet going. We're an added thing that was
We're at the
added
top
on
of the
later.
food chain. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We were added last.
Yeah.
It's like there's some room left. What we do? Stick some humans on.
But don't forget, this thing of we being added doesn't make sense because it was a process. There was no
Yeah.
point when someone goes, "We don't need this. Let's stop now." We kept mutating and being selected.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you can keep. It's going back to what we were talking about last time about. You've got a house, you fill it with stuff. At some point,
Yeah.
you've got everything you need. You've got
Right.
your kettle, you've got your fridge, you've
Yeah,
got
but
your telly.
it could have stopped at slugs.
Then
It'll be
you've
fine.
gone, I'm buying this
But no,
ornament.
nothing. But nothing needed anything.
Yeah, it did. The world needed. I mean, okay, I tried to put slugs in, you didn't allow them in.
Yeah.
Fair play to the slugs. They must do something somewhere,
Yeah.
just not in my house.
But it could have stopped at slugs. They got it right. What's this thing that you need? Anything else? The slug evolved.
No, but we don't add anything, do we? All we've done since we've been around is mess up the world.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm saying we're not needed. I don't know what the last thing was that was needed.
No, we're not needed. We're not needed.
Yeah. So what was the last thing before?
Doesn't make any sense.
What was the last thing that was invented by nature?
It's arbitrary.
Carl,
It's a stupid
what
question.
do you mean?
It's not a stupid question.
Everything is just happening. It's evolving now.
Right, look at it like this. You see, we think we're important because we just do. Well, I don't, but some do. And they're the ones I want to get rid of.
Another argument with himself.
Now, we think we're special. There might be something else going on that's more important. We're in this universe, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're trying to make a new universe.
What do you mean?
There's a machine somewhere.
What?
A big bang. You're making a big bang again.
Right, well you've got that completely wrong, but sure. They're not trying to create a new world. They're trying to recreate the conditions that happened at the beginning of the Big Bang. They're not trying to recreate a new world.
All right, but the
It's
world
completely
came.
different.
But the world came from the Big Bang.
Yeah, but they're trying to recreate the conditions so they can test and they can experiment to see
Dangerous.
the conditions before. Yes, it is dangerous. Apparently there is a threat. Admittedly, there is a danger,
Yeah.
very small danger, that they could create a black hole that would destroy the world.
So why are they doing that? Who's allowed that? This is what annoys me. It's because humans think they're special. Oh, who made the Big Bang? Oh, I'd like my name on that. I want to claim it. Why do people always want to better someone else? It's happened. Let them have it.
Well, you said about progress. You're just trying to change time.
Yeah, but that's not going to harm anyone. A Big Bang. I don't think we need. I mean, we haven't filled this universe yet, have we?
But I don't know what you're saying. You're contradicting yourself. Every other sentence contradicts what you said last time. You do want to fill it, you don't want to fill it. We haven't filled this universe, we don't need another one. We do want progress, we don't want progress.
I'm
Carl,
saying-
what do you want?
I'm saying we don't want another universe.
Well, no.
We haven't got our head round this one yet. We
We're not
don't know
trying
where
to create a
everything
new
is.
one, but go on.
Don't create a new one.
We're not trying to. No one's trying to.
Is that your philosophy? Don't create a new universe.
But why are
It's
we
a
looking
giant
at that?
research experiment.
Why are
They're
we
not
looking
trying
at
to create
that?
a new universe.
Why are we looking at that then? Why do we want to go back to day dot?
So that we can better understand the world that we live in, how the world evolved into the position we're in now. If it did indeed start with the Big Bang, what were the conditions? How did it come from nothing into something?
That's what we do. We say why and how.
I know,
and
but
when,
sometimes...
And what next? And is it good?
You know, I don't mind asking questions. I like asking questions. Ask a
Yours
question.
are, where are slugs going?
It's just this thing of faffing about with things that they don't know what they're doing.
Okay, right, okay, Carl, you're in charge of the world now. You are this, you're all-powerful. You're like a god, okay? You can do anything. You call all the scientists, and they go, what do you want of us? Oh, orange-headed one. What the fuck do you want of us? Right? Right. Stop the Big Bang research. Stop it now. Okay? Okay, drop your talk. Okay, good. Throw that away. What do you want them to do? The might of every intellect in the world standing before you, as far as you can see. Hello? Listen, everybody. This is what I want you to work on. Go. What do you say?
Well, I want to come in and... How long have they been working on the Big Bang idea?
Forget it. You've got every science...
No, but I don't just want to come in and poo-poo that, because they're going to...
Poo-poo.
They've done a lot of research
Well,
on
hold on. You wanted to stop a minute ago.
Yeah, I know, but you don't just come in, guns are blazing. I'd say, hello,
You can do
everyone.
anything you want. Oh, go on then.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Carl, leader.
Right, listen, this Big Bang thing you've been doing...
Yeah, well, that's just only a few of us. That's like less than 1,000,000% of us. We're all here.
Yeah.
I've dropped AIDS research. I've dropped cancer research.
Right, well, why have you dropped that?
I'm working
Who's
on
told
you-
you to do that?
Well, no, we just knocked off. They said you wanted to tell us something. We're all here. Every scientist in the world
Well,
is
listen,
here.
where are you from again?
Well, I'm. It doesn't matter. I'm from Cornwall. I'm looking
No,
at...
what research are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm looking at what happens if you give Feminax to an owl.
What happens?
Well, I'm halfway through it. I got called away.
Look, I'm really busy. What do you want me to work on?
Who said they're doing cancer?
Hey,
Go back. Go back to work.
cheers.
Right.
Okay, the rest of us doing stuff that you think we're fanning around with. What would you want us to do?
Listen, well, I can't do it all today.
What about me? I was doing AIDS.
Hang on a minute.
I was doing AIDS.
You just wait a minute.
Right, okay, why does cancer get to go back? Are you saying that cancer's a bigger problem than AIDS?
You go back to work.
So AIDS can go back. I'm doing restless leg
Right,
syndrome.
can everybody but the Big Bang people leave? I met Derek Akora the other week,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Now, who's he? Which one's he?
He's
Is he a medium? He can contact the dead, is that right?
he just chats to him and that, passes messages on.
Nice of him.
So I said, oh, tell us something a bit weird and that. So he said, what do you want to know? I said, just something weird. So he goes, all right then. He said, here's one for you, right? And he said, there's this pub out in the country. And he said, there's this mug. Do you know those old mugs that they have? Where they used to like leave their own cup knocking
Like a
about, didn't they?
tankard.
Oh, yeah.
Tankard thing.
Yeah.
So there was one of them mugs in there, right? And everybody...
Tankard, let's use tankard if we've
All right,
established that's the word.
tankard, yeah.
Because you're the only mug in this story.
Right,
You believe
so-
in it all.
High five. Great.
So this tankard's knocking about, right? And everyone who's running the pub keeps going, oh, I wish they'd stop leaving this tankard about, right? And they pick it up.
It must be a pain. Having a tiny, small tankard in a pub. That must be a real grind.
So every time they sort of picked it up and went, we'll have to wash that, and they popped it on a different sideboard. Next thing you know, that person who's touched it died, right?
Sure.
So
They must have been getting through bar staff.
so they kept getting new staff and that. And they were like, what's the connection here? Right?
What's the connection here?
Oh, God.
So they get a vicar in,
Of course they do.
and they go, look, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. This tankard, every time someone touches it, they die. So he said, leave it with me. He gets his special water out and what have you. He comes round, does a little prayer, sprinkles it. He goes, right, not a problem, don't worry about it. He picks it up, chucks it in the bin. Guess what?
What?
Dies in a crash on the way home. Because he picked it up.
Well, but Carl, you're telling me this like it's fact, and I'm meant to go, that's
Derek
amazing.
Akora, he told me.
Carl, I have no opinion of that story, other than I'm pretty sure there was absolutely no connection between touching the tankard and him dying. That's all I'm sure of.
It's not just him though, is it?
I'm not going to even contest the chain of events. all I'm saying is there is no connection. There is no connection possible because I believe in logic and the laws of the universe.
Yeah, but what I mean, you never pick up a vibe of... Like, I've got a mate, right, who is living in this big stately home, right, and he's living in there now. He pays £100 a month. There's about 80 rooms.
Gee.
And it's this big stately house and what have you. And I went down there. He said, "Oh, come down and have a look," right? And from outside, you go, "Oh, this is brilliant. It's like something out of, you know, like the Man of Born or something." You go, "This is impressive." But then when you get in, it's like it's a wreck. And we go in, and all the floors are like a wreck and rotten and stuff. And I looked at the wall, and there was like a little piece of paper stuck on the wall, right? And I said, "What's this here?" So I wandered over, right? Got right up close to it, and somebody had wrote it.
Somebody had wrote it.
Oh,
Somebody had wrote it.
Right, go on.
So there's a little sign there, right? And I go up to it, and it says "flies," right, with an arrow. Flies, like flies this way, right? I think that's a bit weird. So I follow the arrow, right, which goes to this corner where there's a shelf, about 3,000 dead flies on it.
Oh my God.
Condom stuck on the top. You might remember in the first podcast, I was telling you about this scary house that my mate lives in, where he's like a security man. You're not like a security man, are you? What are you?
Well, I just look after it.
You just look after it and that. He just looks after it. So this is it, because I thought I'd show you around it, because just in case you thought I'd made it up and that, about the bit about the flies and all that, where there's flies on the shelf and stuff. So this is the sort of state I was telling you how it's a mess. This is it. Ceiling's caving in over there. What's just there? Pair of pants. Right then, we've found the room that I was talking about on the podcast, with the dead flies and that on it. This is the sign that I was telling you about. Got a fly on it, right, little arrow. There's flies here, look. Little ladybird there. Oh, flies attacking the ladybird and that. Right, so you've got that. So follow it along. Right, you think, well, there's nothing there. And you can get the camera up there, right? Look at that lot. Dead flies. I'm just showing you this because some people have said, "Oh, you made it up and all that." But there's no way, just for the sake of the podcast, I'd go around collecting that many dead flies. There's a condom as well that I was talking about. Weird, isn't it? That's weird, isn't it?
That is weird.
That is weird, right? So I'm looking at that, and there's loads of stuff on the floor and that, bits of paper. Picked up this bit of paper, right? And it had, like in biro and that, it looked really old, like it'd been there years. And it had something like, "Need nappies, dummy," right? Blankets, blah, blah, all this, like, all stuff for, like, and I turned it over, right, and it said, "None of this now needed, baby dead."
Right.
Now that's weird, isn't it? Now that's what I'm talking about when you get a bad vibe, you go, that's who's been in here?
It's bad vibe, it's just based on the fact that...
Your mate's in charge.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, yes, so it's like saying, are we scared of the dark? Yes, I understand why people are scared of the dark. I'm a little bit scared of the dark. You're walking along.
Because you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, you don't know what's in the darkness. That's why people get nervous. It doesn't mean you have to make the leap then that you've got some paranormal sense. Oh my God, I'm Karl Pilkington, and hang on, just like Derek Acora, I have sensed something strange and evil in this room. Wait a minute, there's some flies in a condom. I was right all along.
That is weird.
Flies in a Johnny equals badness.
the flies in the condom was weird.
It's weird. I don't know.
But the note.
Yeah.
I just think of his face when he saw that, reading it by torchlight. You must have been terrified.
It's a bit odd, isn't it? Right, and there's this one.
I say, show me that you've got one.
No, right, and there's this one that's knocking about,
Go on.
that what it is. Say if I'm in a pub, right, and I'm just doing a crossword or whatever,
Unlikely, but go on.
and there's some woman who's walked in, right, and she's staring at me.
Yeah.
I know she's looking at me, and I look up and I look round. She's looking at me,
Right.
and they're saying that's a new sense that they found out from, like, you know, doing tests and what have you.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
And they're saying
okay.
that's been around
Well,
since like man and dinosaur was knocking about.
They've stopped.
No, they've
pursuing-
explained
I
it.
think it's safe to assume that, you know, that with your perfectly round head, people are always stopping and
No,
looking.
but they explained
you
it.
just know that there's probably going to be someone there if you look
They
right.
said it's from the time when, like, caveman was, like, wandering about, and he'd go, hang on a minute, and he'd look round, there's a dinosaur there, or whatever, and he'd
Right,
leg it.
this is nonsense. One,
not-
I hate it when people use the term when caveman was wandering around. Caveman and dinosaurs, oh, they used to live together, yeah. Oh, that's the same era. Yeah. What have you been watching? Raquel Welch?
What do you mean?
Well, what do you mean caveman wandering, knocking around with a dinosaur?
You know, the Flintstones is only partly based on fact. Dinosaurs and man did not coexist. The dinosaurs had long gone before man arrived. Extinct. Kaput. You don't believe us?
What, you don't believe because you've seen...
Because you saw that film where they took pictures of lizards and magnified them and put them next to men in films so they looked like they were fighting.
Yeah.
No, but why couldn't that have happened?
What is the film with Raquel Welch? A Million Years
10
BC.
A million years BC or
A
something.
Million Years BC. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
She had a sort of woolly mammoth bikini. Fact.
why wasn't the dinosaurs back then just like how we have dogs now, in a way?
He's watching the Flintstones.
He's watching the Flintstones.
He's thinking of the Flintstones. That's what he's
when
thinking.
he puts out the saber-toothed tiger
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Dido
And he
when
mixes
puts in.
his concrete in a pelican.
Yeah.
I just think that there must have been a crossover point.
Why? Why did you say that? Why do you think there must have been
There
a
must
crossover
have
point?
been.
Because if nothing was knocking about at any point, how did anything carry on?
I know. Exactly. Why didn't Hitler meet Nero? It's weird, isn't it? There must have been a crossover. They must have met somewhere. They must have met at a party somewhere.
They mixed in similar circles.
Yeah. They must have bumped into... I can't believe it.
Yeah, forget it.
Oh.
What's your next one?
Okay, number 2.
People who don't want to do what the brains would be better at doing.
Right, okay, no, I'll get around that sentence. Now, tell me again.
Brains that don't want to do what their owners are good at.
Ah, so now it's the brain's fault. Before you said you were going to put people in who don't do what their brains are good at, but now you've changed that. Now you're putting the blame on the brain. Now you want to put in brains who don't want to do what their owners are good at. I like the fact that you own a brain.
Okay, no. I just need a bit more clarification, Rick. Before you ask questions, can you just expand on that point, please, KP?
Do you know, like, people decide what they want to do,
Right.
don't they, for a living?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they're not good enough.
Right.
You mean they have a dream and they can't fulfill it because they haven't got the skill or...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not good for anything.
No.
It's just that they haven't unlocked the thing that they're good at,
Right.
which is fair enough. You can't always find what's going on. There's a lot going on in the brain.
Yeah.
You know, there might be something up there that you just never find, which is sad, right?
Right.
But
You mean you may never discover your full potential because you may never stumble across it. You may never have the means.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, yeah.
I only got into hospital radio because my dad was in hospital, so I found out about this thing and I thought I didn't even know this existed. I want to go
Well,
at
of
it.
course.
So-
But I mean, there's much bigger issues there that the poor working class people don't get the same opportunities. People in the third world, when you're worrying about whether you're going to live through the next few days, you don't start thinking, I wonder if I can play the cello.
Can I
So-
refer you back though, Rick? You made an interesting point there, but I fear that's not exactly what Carl was saying. I
Go
don't
on.
think that his point was quite that profound.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something to do with the brain not allowing its owner.
Yeah, because that's the bit that annoys me. Fair enough if a brain hasn't decided what it wants to do, because you got...
What is this?
Let him finish.
God, this
'Cause
thing
it hasn't
about
finished.
the brain
Shut up.
'Cause it
being
hasn't-
in charge, like the numbskulls.
Because it hasn't found its destiny, type thing.
A brain
But
hasn't found its destiny.
when someone is good at something, and they know the brain is good at something, but then they don't want to do it, and they want to go off and do something else.
Sorry, who's to blame here? The person or the brain? I'm talking like him now.
I don't know what's
Who are
wrong.
you putting into room 102? What annoys you? A brain that doesn't let its owner know what it's good at, or an owner that won't do what the brain wants to
I think
do?
it's the owner, because say like a bloke who's good at plumbing,
Yeah.
his brain loves plumbing. His brain loves plumbing. He's sick of plumbing. So he goes off to try and
Unplumb.
No, he's going to do something else.
He's going to do something else.
He's carpentry.
Now, they say in this country the problem is we haven't got enough tradesmen.
Right.
We don't have enough plumbers.
Right.
There's enough plumbers' brains.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Shut up.
What are you talking about?
Shut up. Let him please finish.
Because
This is like beds and pillows again.
brains have not changed over the years. The brain is exactly the same. But it's the owner of the brain that's in charge. The brain could be going, I want to go for a walk, or I want to go and find something out. But if your body's too lazy to get up and go and see the stuff, the brain isn't going to get what it wants.
It doesn't make sense, Carl.
Right,
you are your
this.
brain. Okay, you could have a good point if you said this. You could say that everyone's brain has the ability to become a plumber.
Yeah.
You know, your brain, yeah.
But I don't know if it has, you see, because this is the thing. When I was younger, when I first left school, I had 2 jobs I wanted to do. I wanted to be a joiner, right? Or a car mechanic. I had a go at sort of joinery. Couldn't really get my head around it. Right? Did work placement at a garage, messed it up, got kicked out.
What did you
now
do?
The thing is,
why did you get kicked out?
Just because I messed the garage up.
How did you mess it up?
The fella he's a bit moody, this fella, and he just decorated his garage. And
You are like the slug in this scenario, aren't you?
He just, do you know, like the paint the floor and everything? Make it with lines in it and everything like that.
Right. What did you do?
And he painted it white. You shouldn't have white in a garage. It's stupid with all the oil about and that. It's not the right colour, is it? It's like getting a white sofa, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
So he'd painted it all, and then he sort of said, do you want to change the oil on the car? So yeah, go on then. So what do I do? He said, you pull the sump out, stick a bucket underneath, catch the oil. Alright then. Go down there, pull the sump out, hold the bucket, but because of the pressure, the oil doesn't come straight out, it flirts out sideways. Went all over his white floor, he went mental, kicked me out. Now the thing is, that wasn't really my fault. My brain didn't know. It was showing an interest.
What? Right.
Let him finish!
Oh God, what does he mean?
Shut up, let
The brain-
My fault and my
Please.
brain.
The brain was showing an interest, but at the end of the day, if it hasn't got the knowledge, what can it do? Now, you could say, was that my fault or my brain's fault?
No, I'd never say that. People may be in the wrong job. You might not discover what you're really
Yeah, but I'm
brilliant at.
talking about, you get people, alright, let's go to the extreme. People with no legs who want to be swimmers. Don't be stupid.
Oh God!
I'm so annoyed. Is this a big problem?
It's madness, isn't it? It's mad that the brain wants to do that so much. The brain's in the wrong body almost. Yeah. Are you in me?
No.
A plumber who can plumb is annoying when he jacks it in as a living because there's other brains who can't do plumbing. They don't get their head round it.
This means.
Look, you must have learned the same stuff at school as me, but a lot of it wasn't interesting to my brain. I wasn't bothered. It wasn't into taking it in. Yet look at me in like editing and all that. I can use all that equipment because my brain's happy with it.
Yeah, you found something you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why aren't I good at plumbing or joinery or being a mechanic?
You're probably not interested in it.
I loved it as a
But
kid.
people do have different brains. People are different. Some people are more higher logic, lower emotion.
That's what I'm
know?
saying.
Yeah, but I don't know what you're putting in room 102 because you're saying it's like this brain's wandering around
Who's
looking
to
for a
blame?
body and it goes, oh, I'll choose that body. Hang on, this body doesn't even want to do some plumbing.
It's a matter of taste. It's just a
sometimes
matter of taste.
It's good to do what you're good at and stop chasing a dream.
This is the most complicated thing. You could just
is.
put in noisy kids. Like, Ricky, why is this is a brain that
Because
doesn't
someone
work.
else would have done noisy kids. There's no point everyone putting in the same thing.
But
in this
I don't
room.
even know what your point is here.
For example, what I put in were parents who ignore their kids running riot in a restaurant or on a train. The arrogance of them thinking that, isn't it fun? That there was someone to blame. I was basically putting in bad parenting, or there was someone. I wasn't going a brain who wanted to be a plumber, but the plumber didn't.
I'm not putting the brain in. It's just people. If I had a really good skill, I'd hope that I'd use it.
You don't know what you're good at until you try it. You might be the best drummer in the world.
I know, but they're the people I'm having a go at. They're the people who I'm having a go at. The people who know they can do something, but they don't do it.
So people who don't fulfil their own potential.
That's a good one.
Is that a better point?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But there's nothing to do with this duality, this brain versus person. I don't know what that is. It's a weird thing you've got. A really weird little kink you've got, that you think this brain is another entity that lives in your head, that you own it, and you've got to become the master of it. Like some sort of weird dog. Who am I talking to now, Carl or his brain?
We're both listening.
Well, I will put in people who don't fulfill their full potential. Slugs are safe, but people who don't fulfill their full potential, you have got into room 102.